Hello and welcome back to another out-of-spec detailing video here from Clear Detailing in Northern Colorado. Today we are checking out a new glass coating from Adams Polishes. For many years at this point now, I have been using their regular version of the graphene glass coating, and just recently they just launched their advanced version, which is said to be quite a bit stronger, higher quality resins and lasts a little bit longer. And in today's video we're going to be putting it to the test on a brand new freshy fresh windshield on our Kia EV9. So welcome back to the channel. Let's jump into it. Well, thank you all for being here today. Very excited to check out the brand new advanced graphene ceramic coating for your glass from Adams Polishes. As I said, the original version, the non-advanced version, has been one of my favorites to install for many years. And let's talk about why that actually is. A lot of the glass coatings that I've actually tried and tested out there are a pain in the butt to install. They create all sorts of haze all over the glass. They typically produce a ton of wiper chatter all over the glass, and sometimes even some very weird kind of marks when your windshield actually gets wet, and that is really annoying. Now, you might be asking, what's the whole point of actually putting protection on your glass? Well, it's of course for safety and seeing when you're in a heavy rainstorm. Instead of having this entire windshield just sheet with tons and tons of water, having water that while you're driving down the road is blasting off your glass makes things way easier to see in very inclement conditions. And I'm a huge believer on putting glass coatings on pretty much every single piece of glass on your car. Now, this vehicle, like I said, we just got a fresh windshield. Unfortunately, we had some gnarly cracks. Welcome to living in Colorado, going to the mountains, all of that fun stuff. So this thing is brand spanking new, and we're actually headed out on a road trip in 2 days. We're going to be about 4,000 miles on the road. So I figured this was perfect time. Take a freshy fresh windshield, coat it with the old version on one side and the new version on the other. So let's talk a little bit about what's changed here. Number one, price point change. So I very much felt that their normal version here, which looks in silver, their graphene glass coating, very reasonably priced compared to a lot of other ones out there. Now, a 30 ml bottle retails right at 45 bucks. Knowing Adams, every other day you can get a different sale, so you can definitely get it for much cheaper than that. But you can absolutely get basically 2 full cars out of this, and I'm talking doing every single windshield, and I'm talking if you're just installing it on windshields, getting many of those. Now, they say the durability on this is about 9 to 12 months or 10,000 miles. Now, of course, this heavily depends on the environment you're in, how often you're in rainstorms, your wipers. Wipers are naturally going to degrade coatings quicker. Now, the interesting thing about glass that you should really understand is it's very porous, and both of these coatings actually soak into the pores instead of just sit on top. That's why a lot of the times, a lot of different glass coatings have a real hard time with wipers, because the wipers are just abrading down that coating, and it makes the visibility really bad. So what's new with the advanced version? Well, more advanced resins in this. I'll be the first one to tell you I don't believe in the whole marketing scheme of graphene and throwing just graphene oxide and calling it graphene. It's all baloney, but a lot of coatings out there that are marketing claim to just have this graphene oxide in them are actually pretty good coatings. It's just not the actual graphene that's really doing much of anything. It's the actual base of the coating here. Their advanced version, again, higher end resins in here. So I'm curious to see if this is going to be more annoying to install. That's one of the things I loved about this, but the price also went up here. So this now for a single 1 ounce bottle retails at $59.99, which is definitely getting up there in price. This is said to last a little bit longer, so they're claiming now 12 to 15 months or 12 to 15,000 miles. Again, your mileage is going to vary. So we've got this car on lease for another year. I figured what we're going to do today is we're going to throw the advanced version on the driver's side. We'll split it straight down the middle, throw the non-advanced version on the other side, and I can tell you the story over the rest of the lifetime of this car to see how these coatings are holding up. So before we actually install the ceramic coatings, we need to ensure we have proper prep on our windshield to make sure that coating is going to last, it's going to bond. Coating anything is always in the prep. So there's a couple different things you can do here based on the dirtiness or lack of cleanliness on your actual glass. Number one, always, of course, you want to wash your car, make sure it's nice and clean. If you have a piece of glass that's been sitting out for a while, using something like a clay decon towel, a piece of clay to get all of the embedded imperfections in this is the way to go. Now, being we have a brand new windshield, I don't really have to worry about that. Now, you can also do a couple things if you have a lot of mineral deposits or staining on your glass or whatever the case may be, normally mineral deposits. Number one, you can grab a polisher and actually polish all of the glass. Now, you can use something like an actual dedicated glass polish. You can use something like a normal light polish on it. Just depends on the severity of your glass. Again, in this particular case, not really going to need to do it. But what I am going to use is actually Adam's glass polish. This stuff is applied by hand. It's really, really easy to use and just gives you a perfectly squeaky clean finish. Now, after you do that, of course, you want to use something like a panel prep spray. A panel prep spray is going to make sure any of the polishing oils, any leftover contamination or anything left behind is completely gone so that you don't have anything there interfering with the actual application of the coating. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to sit here, go through, hand apply the Adam's glass polish. We'll wipe that off, make sure this thing is squeaky clean, wipe it off with the panel prep, and then we'll get into installing and comparing how these install. So I just quickly want to show you through this using Adam's glass polish. So number one, we want to shake this up. This is a heavy, heavy compound. They claim you don't want to use this on a machine. I have. It doesn't really do anything bad to the glass, but we're going to work this in. What I want to show you here is a small circular area like this, and I'll show you the difference. So it doesn't take all that much. That's pretty much all it takes to do. You're going to do that on the entire piece of glass. The big difference here is grabbing something like your panel prep. Now, watch what happens when I spray this on here. As I wipe this away, you can see lots of little water spots right up here, and that area where that is perfectly smooth and even. Now next to it, again, you can pick up all of those little spots. Those are tiny little mineral deposits. All of that can interfere with how that coating physically bonds to this. So that's why you want to spend the time to prep it before you install the coating. All right, we've got the glass all prepped. We've got it wiped down twice with our panel prep spray. This should be ready to go. It is super tacky, super grippy. So we're going to start off with the non-advanced version, the one I'm used to. Give you some feelings on how this applies. Very, very simple to do. We've got a single clean Costco yellow microfiber towel. That's all you need to do a piece of glass here. So my preferred applicator are actually from Autofiber, these savers. They have a little hydrophobic barrier inside so the coating doesn't soak right into that. Now, I like to heavily apply this. I feel like it goes on a little bit better, and I also only use it in a single layer. So what I'll do here is I crunch this together. Now I'm going to split this piece of glass in half. So I'm going to work this in just like this. I am putting a little bit of pressure into it. Whoop, you can see how tacky the glass actually was there. And then I'm going to come back. I'm going to reapply a single line down the middle after essentially doing 3. I'm going to squish that back in. And I'm just going to work it in. Now, what you're going to see this is going to do is this is essentially going to kind of sweat. It's going to rainbow a little bit. That's when you know it's ready to go. This is genuinely as simple as wipe on, wipe off. There's nothing more to it. It is that simple to actually apply. So what I'm looking for is consistency throughout this. I like to do that overlap motion. I do not like to do 2 layers on this coating. It really gets screwy because the coating that's on there first starts rejecting the other one. It becomes a real pain in the butt. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fold my towel into quarters here. That way I have 8 total sides if I need it. And I'm going to start just by wiping this in a circular motion. And what you'll immediately feel is the crazy slickness from this glass coating. Now, what you'll notice there, just that initial level, basically completely gone. And that is the beauty of this. There is no fighting haze. There is no fighting any sort of this coating. That is done. It is beautifully simple to install. So now, of course, I can come back in, try not to over wipe. I'm gonna flip my towel there, and we're done. it genuinely could not be easier to install a coating on a piece of glass. Now, if you want a little insurance policy, flip your towel over and make sure you hit all the corners. What I like to do, fold that up yet again. You can see how I'm working into those corners. Take your tip here, go into there. I can see I got a little coating right there. Boom. And I'll just go through and wipe it. It's very, very awesome to use. So that's our baseline standard. Let's hope the advanced version isn't any more challenging to install. That went on beautifully. Put a new tape line down and we'll install the other side. Fresh new applicator, fresh new towel, and we've got the advanced version. I'm gonna do the same exact thing here. I've already shaken it up. I'm gonna do 3 heavy lines in this. Just make sure we get all of that right in there. And we're just gonna work it in. Now, first things first, honestly feels exactly the same. I'm not sure you could tell me any sort of difference between the two, and that is not a bad thing. It does smell a little bit different for sure. Now I'm already seeing this is ready to wipe off. Not to worry, you still have a long working time on this. Hopefully I'm out of the way of your guys' shot here. And we'll finish it just like that. So hopefully very simple, easy install, just like the original version. You can see how it sweats up, gets a little rainbowy. I'm not sure how the light is actually over there. And as you can see, same amazing wipe away. There is really no other glass coatings that wipe away this easy, and that is something I love. Now, a lot of people are like, well, if it's easy, it's not gonna be, you know, a professional version. I'm like, why would you want something to be more complicated to install? I mean, I have installed glass coatings that you are just like wiping haze all over the glass, and that is not the case here with Atom. So this is always one of my absolute favorites. You can see how much it picks up, come back in, boom. Working in a circular motion I find really, really helpful. Let's do our insurance policy. As I just pulled a little, boom, wipe it away. Then I'm going to take that corner, work it into this edge, come back here, and it feels, oh my God, amazingly smooth. I'm not sure they're, honestly feel very, very similar. So I guess the next thing here is I'm going to let this cure up for 24 hours, and then we'll do our first initial water test on this to see if we can see any difference. And then at the end of this, of course, give you some final thoughts here. Pretty darn similar to install. One's more expensive, claims to last longer, so we'll have to do some testing on it. All right, guys, let's wrap this video up with some final thoughts for you. And I think after going through this, I'm a little surprised. And what I mean by that is I expected to feel a big difference, to see a big difference, and I don't really think I felt that. In fact, I think if these both had no labels on them at all, I could not even sort of tell the difference between them. What I expected from the advanced version was maybe a little bit harder to install. Now, I'm glad it's still the same, but even increased hydrophobics. Now, this was just a very, very quick test here. It wasn't anything crazy to say the least. So we still need to do more testing on it, but my initial impressions are, yeah, it's not that different. And a lot of the times I always recommend getting the strongest coating you possibly can. So for example, if you're going to take the time to compound polish your car and put a coating on it, why install a 3-year coating when you can install an 8-year coating? And that's kind of my traditional feelings here. But at the flip side here, we'll see how this lasts. Again, the difference between lifespan and longevity here is not like a huge difference. It's not like a year versus 2 or 3 years. It's, 9 to 12 months versus 12 to 15 months. That's not a substantial difference. I don't necessarily think that is ready to go spend your extra money on that. Now, of course, we'll see how this goes, but again, it's really based on time, age, the area you're in, how many times you're using your wipers, does it rain every day, do you have a bunch of contamination on your glass? That all plays into the longevity, and maybe we'll see over an extended period of time that the advanced version is outperforming the non-advanced version, and then at that point, I would say, yep, you should definitely get this over the non-advanced. But this was a good initial impression here. We'll see how this unfolds. I'll definitely keep you updated on this now that we got a fresh windshield, fully coated, and I'm about to head out on a 4,000+ mile road trip with this car. So this thing is going to be covered with bugs. I'm sure we'll hit rain, dirt, grime. I'll film anything on the road that I can to help tell the story of these coatings. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in another one soon. Bye-bye.